Hi today, my name is Ian. Today we'll be looking at how Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 relates to real life. We'll mainly explain the metaphor inside the story of this mysterious factory, as well as explain the story along the way. As you know, Playtime Co. is not innocent. The same toys they created tried to bring alive, and they were successful, but not without casualties. In Chapter 3, we see what the orphanage once was. Inside each place, different VHS tapes hinting that they used to turn these once children into these creatures. Evidence includes Marie, Joseph's friend Kevin, Samuel Lee, Jeremy, Theodore, and Poppy saying a dream, "Do you know who we once were?"
Do you know what's happened here?
This relates to real life because in life you have a choice whether to do good or whether to do bad. Now of course we are human beings and we make mistakes, but every day we gotta make sure we are doing good and avoiding our bad desires, or avoid acting on our bad desires. Now you get to decide what those bad desires are, but what else they are going on through your brain, and then you can avoid doing these bad things because your actions have consequences, and I'll get into that later. The person who plays is mysterious. All we know about him is that he used to work at the Playtime Co. factory, and he came out to look for his co-workers 10 years after they suddenly disappeared. However, in Home Sweet Home, we learn more about his past. When we enter, we see a room full of red smoke. This causes the player to fall asleep and start dreaming. A dream consists of long, endless hallways, each having a way to tell the story of the body of a young boy found on a late Elliot Ludwig's estate.
Tragic news this morning. As of 9:45 a.m., local authorities report that the body of a young boy has been found on the estate of the late Elliot Ludwig, an esteemed toy maker and originator of the Playtime Company.
Throughout this dream, we find writings saying, "Happy and fun way was it done," and "Guilt haunts you." Guilt haunts you indicates that the person we play as was mixed up in these experiments. Now whether this was the player's own choice or he was forced into these sort of things, the player wasn't known that they were conducting experiments here. In fact, it's the first time we see the message "Guilt haunts you," we hear a radio sort of distorted, but many people have found out that if you actually play this radio backwards, you can hear this following message.
8/8/1995. I find your presence intrusive. After all this time you return. You come in here and you kill and murder. You pillage and destroy. Your presence was demanded 10 years ago and you didn't show up. 8/8/1995. You were supposed to be here. Why weren't you here? You missed the event. You missed the meeting. You missed the party. You have no right to be here.
Now this is most likely the prototype talking to a player, explaining that he wasn't there on August 8, 1995, which is the hour of joy. Now I'll get into that in a minute. I'll go back to the player. It seemed like he was guilty of his past. He regretted things that he's done, and understandably, because the thing that he's done is inhumane, is beyond what anybody else would think of doing. This relates to real life because in life your past can always haunt you. I understand we each live different lives, but your past can sometimes come back to haunt you. And no matter what you did in your past, you shouldn't let that affect your future. The only way that your past is useful to you if you learn from your mistakes. If you spend too much time indulging your past, you're not going to focus on living a better life in your future. The only reason you should look into your past is to look at the mistakes you have done and make sure that you don't repeat that same mistake in the future. The player aims to discover what happened to his co-workers and the people there. In Chapter 3, we discover that what the Hour of Joy is. In the constable's office, we find a VHS tape containing an emergency alarm system that played at the start of the Hour of Joy on August 8, 1995. At the end of the chapter, after the showdown with Catnap, Poppy plays another VHS tape showing that the creatures became sentient, killing everyone. This is of course the consequence of conducting many experiments that resulted in casualties. One of them is the prototype. The prototype was to influence these creatures to attack everyone they see.
I remember hearing every moment of it. It went on so long, so agonizingly long. They tried to hide, to run, anything to stay alive. I remember their cries. What's going on? Why is this happening? What are those things? Senseless slaughter, that's all it really was.
It's way to real life because, as I said earlier, you have choices whether to do good or to do bad. And in life, your actions have consequences. Whatever you do that's bad is going to come back to you. This is why mainly we need to watch what we are doing. I know you probably heard this in your life before many times that you should watch what you're doing every day. The reason why a lot of things are bad in this world is because if you do those things, it's going to affect your life in some way, and not for the better. Now you get to decide what those bad desires are, what bad things you are addicted to, or what bad things you are going through in life. Whatever it is, you have to decide how you are going to get out of it. How are you going to get out of that bad addiction? And how are you not going to do those bad stuff in the future? Because if you don't start preventing yourself from doing these bad things and thinking to yourself, I am stronger than these bad desires end up going to control you and ruin your life. Allah, God, says in the Quran, chapter 2, verse 286, Allah does not charge its soul except within its capacity. It will have the consequence of what good it has gained. It will bear the consequence of what evil it has earned. You have to watch what you do, because every good you do, your soul will gain. And whatever evil you do, it will have consequences. Throughout the game, we faced off against different monsters. As I explained before, they used to conduct experiments on the orphans they were housing. They turned these one's children into these creatures. The prototype influenced these creatures to take revenge, killing a lot of innocent people in the process.
They killed everyone. The guilty, the innocent, didn't matter. All of that death didn't fix anything.
So it's like to real life because someone we know can do something bad to us, and we had the desire to seek revenge on that person. Now, it mostly depends what that person did, but if it's a thing that you all can work out and forgive each other for, then you should. Whoever in the wrong show called make up for it and apologize. Remember, when you want to seek revenge, you also let your anger overtake you, and if your anger will overtake you when you seek revenge, you're going to end up hurting yourself in the process. As I said before, it depends on what the person did, but if it's something that you can forgive each other for, it's better. There's a lot of small stuff nowadays that people fight over with, that want to take revenge on, and we need to stop doing that. We stop fighting over small things, because those small things could turn into big things. And those big things could end up ruining our relationships with people. I gotta take a step back sometimes and just think like, how are we going to solve this situation? Is seeking revenge the best way to do it? I mean, at the end of the day, it's your choice how you want to approach this, but you gotta take a step back and rethink that how am I going to fix this problem I have with this person? And the worst thing is to just not act and just holding that grudge. Because if you keep holding that grudge inside of you, it's not gonna be good for you. I just recommend to take a step back and rethink how you're gonna approach this and how you're gonna solve this problem between you two. Because if you do it the wrong way, I feel the anger overtake you. It's gonna end up hurting you in the process, and you don't want that to happen. So after this video, before you ask, no, there is no metaphors inside chapter 1, chapter 2. The only metaphors they are the same metaphors I just discussed. Now, there are two more things that I still have quickly discuss. The first thing is when the player dies, different messages pop up, and each ending would get up. As you know, the player was sent into the factory to save the people that was there. It seems like every single time the player has some sort of near-death experience, he is brought back into existence. Now, some of these messages have metaphors inside them, but it's too vague to relate to real life. Now, the second thing is not a metaphor, but it's the Ollie. I just want to say, who is Ollie? At first, I thought he was just some doll or like some sort of toy that, like a male version of Poppy, where he helps guide us to our chapter 3 and is a friendly person, a friendly creature, whatever, or child, I guess. just like Poppy is. But maybe people are theorizing that he's a prototype, maybe people are thinking that he's evil, and we don't know, but I guess we go find out in chapter 4. Thank you for watching. I hope you found this video entertaining as well as informative. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos such as this one right here. Have a nice rest of your day, and bye.